All right, before I start this review, I want you all to understand something some of you already do know. I am not the biggest Superman fan. To tell you the truth, the Kryptonian is not even in my top 10 of superheroes. The average reasons apply here. Unbeatable and a little bit corny. I tend to look at Superman a little like Goku, right? What is the basic routine of Dragon Ball Z? Usually there's a big bad, several heroes fail to beat them until Goku shows up and does something amazing. We're not counting the Cell Saga, okay? Relax. That's how Superman has always been seen to me. Just a superpowered character who's had two weaknesses, Kryptonite and Simp Kryptonite. That's right, despite all he's ever learned about being a hero, his ultimate destiny given by his father, Jor-El, the lessons of Ma and Pa Kent, Lois dies and suddenly all that goes out the window. Superman has had quite a few iterations over the years, with Henry Cavill being the most recent to play the character, on the big screen that is. I didn't hate his character, but where Superman was meant to play hopeful and uplifting, his interactions just seemed doom and gloom. Homie was more dark than Batman half the time. Perhaps blame it on Zack Snyder's vision or WB being idiotic cooks in the kitchen.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
From the clues I've seen in the trailers, James Gunn seems to have leaned into that hopeful and inspiring Superman, which surprisingly got my attention for the film. So despite being a third shift employee, I got off work, made a beeline to the theater, and caught the movie at 9 in the morning. I like my comic book movies in peace, alright? Don't blame me. So if you've seen the Rotten Tomatoes score, I'm here to confirm this movie met my expectations and superseded them. This is a movie about hope, justice, and the struggle of wanting to be the person who does the right thing. James Gunn definitely understood the assignment of making sure the man behind Superman was on display, which, as I mentioned before, had always been my gripe with the Man of Steel. We got to see the imperfections of trying to be a hero and how the public responds to that. It's interesting how the dynamic plays in the real world. Information is presented and people respond more to rumors rather than action. David Corenswet is definitely Superman. There's quite a few occasions where we get not only the weak and broken moments, but where he does stand and shows who he truly is beyond the powers. Just a man who does what he can with what he has. We also get a good display of abilities, and not just from Superman, as each character who is a hero here gets a moment to shine. Some more than others. Mr. Terrific especially gets a chance to shine in this movie, which I'm happy that Gunn helped people understand why Terrific is such an amazing hero, despite the fact that he's underrated. I won't lie, the crypto stuff was a little annoying to me. Some of it was adorable and some of it is annoying. Now this is coming from a dog owner, so I did totally relate to a dog's playfulness and banter, but it happened just a little too often for my taste. There is one moment that did make me laugh for Crypto, and if you've seen the Avengers movie, there's a scene where Hulk starts manhandling Loki. Yeah, you'll understand. Nicholas Hoult does a great job as Lex Luthor. How he speaks, his feelings towards Superman, and just how far he's willing to go is every bit as dangerous as we've seen in comics and animation. We get to see his twisted sense of morality as well as that twisted use of scientific knowledge. Rachel Brosnahan is great as Lois. She's every bit as crafty and intuitive as a reporter should be, but she also has her own flaws, and the movie makes sure we see that she's not this perfect person, which is something I was really worried about, because sometimes in movies they will tend to make the female a little bit pretty much perfect in some films, and that they can do no wrong, and that the character sometimes bends to her. That is not the case in this movie, and I'm glad that Gunn wasn't afraid to do that. Even though this is not a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Gunn still uses music which highlights quite a couple of scenes. All in all, I gotta say this movie really made me a little more interested in Superman, and I'm excited to see how the movie goes forward, affecting Gunn's new DCU. Alright guys, so that was my real short review of the Superman film. I didn't want to get into too many spoilers because I didn't ruin it for anybody who might get a chance to see it this weekend, but it was a great movie, guys. Gunn definitely understood the assignment. He definitely understood what he needed to do with this character. Even after the film is over, I will let you know that the post-credit scenes and the mid-credit scene is nothing that is going to change anything with the DCU. And I'm kind of glad about that, okay, guys? Because sometimes, especially with Marvel, we have gotten a lot of promises that have actually gone nowhere. And I'm glad that Gunn is understanding that. That is extremely important. Instead of making promises that you cannot keep in some movies, he's leaving things open up to interpretation, as well as the same time leaving things up to go in any direction that he so chooses. All right, guys, so that was my review for the film, guys. I hope you guys get a chance to see it. This film definitely does deserve a lot of support. It definitely did exactly what it needs to do with giving us that hopeful hero that and solidified the difference between him versus a character like Batman, or what we might meet from Wonder Woman, what we might meet from Green Arrow, what we might meet from different types of characters. This is exactly kind of how I view Superman. Even though he is a little bit corny, this is exactly who Superman is. All right, guys, I've been Unspoken, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.